Hey guys, what's up? It's Haley, and today let me backtrack. I've been reading so much recently, and I think I want to start doing a lot of more book things on my channel. So if you're not into that, I don't know what to tell you, but if you are into books and things of that nature, this will be great. So I decided to get into my nerdy state. I got my owl blanket, I got Cheetos, and I got, my good old Diet Coke with me to help me through the process of this thing that's happening. So, I recently found a cool YouTuber, I forget her name, that's awkward, but she did a tag called the Inside Out Book Tag. It's her own tag, and I'm giving all credit to her, and I forget her name, and now I feel really bad. She came up with it, and it's actually really, really clever. If you haven't seen the Inside Out movie, it's about 5 different emotions inside your head. And so this is called the Inside Out Book Tag, so those emotions related to books. So the girl who did this tag, her original name is Christina Horner. She's really cool. She does a lot of book videos, so if you're into books, for sure go check her out. I'll have her linked in the description. She's awesome. I have all my books right here related to the tag, so let's go. So the first question is, which book brings you the most joy? A lot of books bring me joy because I love books. But the 2 that I picked bring me the most joy I've ever experienced. So the first book is Connor France's Work in Progress. It brings me so much joy because Connor France is my favorite YouTuber. He has grown so much from where he started to where he is now, and this book just is like a written source of that progression. That is why this book brings me so much joy. It's all about him, and it's all about his journey and how he's accomplished so much. So this book brings me into that journey and into that joyfulness that he experiences every day of his life in his YouTube career. Blessed to read this. If you haven't read it, please freaking go read it. His artwork's in here, or like his photography's in here. Like, he just is great, and you should pick up this book if you haven't, even if you don't know who he is. The other book that brings me the most joy is actually one of my favorite books in the entire world. It is called The Edge of Never. It's by J.A. Redmersky. She has a lot of books that are very similar to this kind of book. It is about this girl named Cameron meeting a boy named Andrew while she's kind of going on an adventure, and then they go on a trip together, and love happens, and it's not a typical romance story. Their romance is just this is so basic, but their romance is goals. I want this relationship. The relationship is so connected, and the sequel is so good, and I read this so quickly. I just saw it on the shelf, and I was like, ooh, that looks pretty interesting. And I read it, and now it's my favorite book. The thing about this book is there's a lot of detailed sexual things in it. So if you don't like that, I don't know if you might not want to read this. But honestly, those sometimes make me feel awkward, and I totally got over it because this book is just so good. So, The Edge of Never. Read it. Love it. Live it. So the second question is, which book grossed you out the most? So this one has to do with disgust, which, by the way, is my favorite Inside Out character. Honestly, it took me forever to pick out a book that grossed me out because I'm not into like mystery murders or murderous type of books. So it was hard for me to decide out of my shelf what books to pick from. So I decided on Jodi Picoult, Leaving Time. I recently just read this book. I picked it up. It seemed interesting. It's about a girl whose mother is missing, and it's basically her adventure on her trying to find her mom. And why this book gives me such disgust is because her mother is a elephant analyzer. Like, she analyzes behaviors of elephants and such and such. And there are chapters that are really descriptive on how the elephant gives birth. Me, being a child of the 21st century, was curious. So I went on Google to look up elephant births. And YouTube came up, and it's gross. So that's why this book gives me a lot to discuss. So the third one is fear, and it says, which book scared you more than anything? Honestly, the book that scared me the most is probably 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. The reason why I picked this book for fear is because the backstory is just so scary. The girl committed suicide and sends 13 tapes on 13's reason why she did it. Pick this for fear mostly because the fear of suicidal thoughts is so scary, just because in this society today, like, it's so in kids' heads on a specific way to be or look or act, and if we don't accomplish that, we get so saddened, or like we don't think we belong in today's society, so we get so depressed, and kids today are committing suicide, and kids today feel like they aren't worth their life, which is scary. This book was inspirational. I loved it, and even though it's about a very sensitive topic, a very scary topic, it is a great book. So read it. So the next one is sadness. So which book made you cry the hardest? Now, you probably already know my choice, and it was hard because I cried a lot of books, but crying the hardest, I know I'm basic, The Fault in Our Stars made me cry the hardest. I read this book twice, and I cried twice as hard, and I bawled at the movie, and it's by John Green. If you haven't read it, I don't know why you haven't, but I cried so hard at this book. It's such a touching story about kids with cancer. Like, I don't know, like, it's such a basic answer for this, but it's such a touching story that you can't help but cry to it. So I had to pick it. I'm sorry that I was basic. The last one is anger, and it says, which book pissed you off? I don't actually have the physical copy because I read it on my iPad during school. It is Allegiant, the third book in the Divergent series. The reason why this book pissed me off, and I'm going to warn you now before I go into it, these are spoilers. The movie has not come out yet, and if you haven't read the book, this will be a spoiler. So if you do not want to know what happens in the third novel, skip ahead. Basically what happens in the third book is they go to the outside wall, and they discover what's on the outside, and then they try to fight back, against all the stuff that's happening on the inside. So Caleb is the brother of Triss. I dislike Caleb a whole lot because he does nothing. His character is unimportant. He betrayed Triss multiple times, so I just am not a fan of Caleb. A bomb goes off in this giant corporation that everything is being run in, and then they realize that, they're being attacked, and Triss and Thor are trying to save everyone, while Caleb is just, I'm Caleb, I'm useless. And so there's this room that they have to go in to get this specific, I'm not quite sure. I read the book so long ago, my sophomore year, and it's my senior year, so 2 years ago, so I might be a little fuzzy on the facts, but I know why it pissed me off. So there's this room that they have to go in, and but it's there's a serum in there that might poison Triss, but she's divergent, so we're it might not be poison, but then they're it poisons everyone, even if you're divergent. So we're should we risk it? And Caleb's I'll go in there, I'll risk it. I'm finally, Caleb, you're using something in life, you're finally doing something to save the world, you were just standing there. This is no, I'll go in, you don't need that, Triss, he freaking betrayed you the whole series. And I'm just sitting here you guys might be brother and sister, but he betrayed you, gave you up to Genie. or Janine, or whatever her freaking name is. But I was like, he gave you up to get tested. Are you serious? Like, oh my god, it was making me so angry. And then Tris goes into the room and the serum starts, you know, like making her like not normal. She gets shot a couple times, I think. And she ends up dying. I told you there were spoilers. So if you still watch this part and you're mad that now you know that Tris dies, that is not my fault. I warned you. Tris dies because she went in there for her brother. That's why Allegiant makes me so angry, because Caleb had done nothing but go against Tris. And then at the end, Tris dies for him. And 4 has to live without his soulmate. And it makes me so upset and so angry. And it makes me just want to kill Caleb. But I can't because he's a fictional character. That is the Inside Out book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have not read any of these books, please go out and read them. They're really, really great. So if you haven't read these books, please go out and buy them or illegally download them. Let me know down below what other things you want me to share with you guys. Books, music, things of that nature. If you want me to do more book segments like this, please let me know down below. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is what you're on at this very second. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And, oh, if you like books and you like to know what's a good book versus a bad book, check out my blog. I do a lot of book reviews. Every book that I read, I review and post on my blog. So that link will be down below. All my other links will be down below. Like I said, the link to this actual first original tag of the Inside Out book tag will also be linked down below. So, I've been talking for too long. I really want to eat my Cheetos. And, yeah. I will see you guys next time I make something. Bye!